let's go to the understand the various sections of 8D. But what you can see, why is there a need for a structured problem solving approach like 8D or A3, etc.? Okay, why is there a need? It's because what you find is that the cost of poor quality goes up as you discover defects away from your process, right? So if you look at this chart, this table, so what you see is, if you catch a defect in your own process, at your own process, the impact to the company is minor. Okay, the impact to the company is minor. Okay, whereas if you catch it in the next process, there is a minor delay. Of course, that will cost the company. If you catch it at the end of the line, there is rework, there is reschedule of work. Okay, there is rework, there is reschedule of work. Okay, then if you catch it at final inspection, there is significant work, delay in delivery, additional inspection is required. And if it is an end user's hand, if you catch the defect, if the defect reaches the end user, the customer, then it involves warranty cost, administrative cost, reputational loss, and possibly loss of market share. So identifying the defect at the source reduces the cost of the impact on the company and the loss to its reputation. But the thing is, you can't always have 100% inspection, right? So a structured approach to problem solving, a structured approach is what we always try to propagate, for any issues, particularly quality issues. Okay. Now, I have explained the problem solving toolscape to your landscape to you before. And what this is where the 8D tool is mapped, on this landscape, where 8D is typically used to return to the standard. Is a tool. A3, 8D are tools that are used to typically return back to the standard. Okay, where the cause is unknown and you require a team-based approach. So why do you need a structured approach? Let us try to understand, why do you need a structured approach to problem solving? Basically, a structured approach helps leads to focus on the substance of the report rather than merely the presentation. Okay, so there are instances that I have seen on the shop floor, even in not only on the shop floor, but in the financial services industry or the services industry, where people know the solution already and they try to force fit it into a framework like an 8D framework or a A3 framework, right? So a structured problem solving approach, step-by-step approach, basically in a sequence, using the right tools, using logic, focuses on substance of the report than merely the presentation, right? So it's not just presentation that's important, it also helps you to focus on the substance. There is less firefighting and more of RCA thinking, okay, root cause analysis thinking. There is no blame culture and there is lesser short-term thinking. So generally, this is what I have observed. And basically, structured problem solving digs at the roots and aims to prevent recurrence of the defects and the issues. So if you are involved in solving quality issues, your mindset should be to first understand the root cause and suggest a solution that will prevent the recurrence of that defect. Okay, and mostly that solution would be error proofing or many other solutions, but generally it is error proofing. Okay, now here are the 8 disciplines of problem solving. So take a look at this. Take a look at this first. Okay, so in 8D, the role of practitioner is very critical because he is the one who will be kickstarting the investigation and setting up the activities, various activities. He plays an important role in performing stakeholder analysis and forming a team, okay, and conducts the process of 8D to the required standards and achieves the results, okay. So just as in A3 problem solving, we have to play a very critical role as lead practitioners, okay. And 8D practitioner's role is very critical in terms of first, making sure the team is formed, the right members are involved in the team, and the process of 8D is executed, because, when you are executing the process of 8D, it is not an internal problem, right? It is a problem between you and the person you are supplying the machine to or the part to, or you and the suppliers, right? So there is an involvement of 2, 3 parties, and also there could be involvement of other vendors who are supplying to suppliers or supplying to you, right? So the conduct of the process of 8D is even more important. Okay, it should be conducted on time. You should update the right documents. You should ask the right questions, right? So that becomes a very important. So the success of the 8D depends not only on the quality of the solution, but also the acceptability of the solution to all the stakeholders. So let us try to understand what is D0, and which is emergency response action, and prepare for the 8D. Okay, so here is the process flow. So I'd like you to take a look at the process flow. Finally, it is about congratulating the team, which is recording the best practices and the lessons learned from the 8D process, share the best practices with the right group, store the documentation, recognize the team, and update the report. Okay, so what you should do is, you call everybody after the implementation of D7 and the results have been sustained. You call everybody, and you have to ask 2 questions as a facilitator. Okay, how did we do in resolving the issue and follow the 8D process, and how did we do as a team? How did we perform as a team? Okay, and what were the positives and what are the areas for improvement? So what you do is you capture your lessons learned, as they say in the US, right? You always capture the lessons learned, which is discuss what went well in every step of the process, and mention those who have contributed to as a team for this good teamwork. Okay, and document it, and areas for improvement. Discuss what could have been done better in every step of the 8D process. So you discuss D0, D1, D2, D3, D4, D5, what went well, what can improve, what went well, what can improve, what went well, what can improve. Okay, and publish the best practice report and celebrate success. So typically we complete all paperwork and complete 8D process, keeping all stakeholders involved, store the 8D documents, recognize all the team leaders, and publicly announce the success of the project. Okay, that is what we do. And typically this is the final section, congratulate the team. Okay, which I have filled up. So that completes my 8D.